Tum 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 tum. Oh, cell membrane functions. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 dum 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 da dum 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 dum. Cell membranes are very important structures to the cells because they function as barriers between the component of the cell and the outside environment. The cell membrane is selectively permeable. The cell membrane is what defines the cell and keeps its components separate from the outside organism. The cell membrane is composed of a double layer of fat called a lipid bilayer, in which membrane proteins are embedded. The structure of the lipid bilayer prevents the free passage of most molecules into and out of the cells. The lipid bilayer is a universal component of all cell membranes. Its role is critical because its structural component provides the barrier that marks the boundaries for a cell. The lipid bilayer surrounds all cells, providing the cell membrane structures. Lipids are fats like oils that are insoluble in water. There are two important regions of a lipid that provides the surface of the lipid bilayer. Each lipid molecule contains a hydrophilic region, also called a polar head region, and a hydrophilic region, also called a polar head region, and a hydrophobic or a non-polar tail region. The hydrophilic region is attracted to aqueous water conditions, and the hydrophobic repels such conditions. There are a number of different ways that molecules can pass from one side of a cell membrane to the other. One way is through diffusion, which is a natural process that requires no expenditure of energy from the cell and is called passive transport. Osmosis is another way that molecules pass from one side of a cell membrane to the other and is also passive transport. Osmosis is similar to diffusion, but refers specifically to water molecules. There are three classifications of tonicity that one solution have relative to another. The three are hypertonic, hypertonic, and isotonic. Other methods of transport require cellular energy and are called active transport. Active transport requires cellular energy, also known as ATP, and occur when a cell actively pumps a molecule across the membrane against the natural direction of the concentration gradient. The sodium-potassium pump is a critical protein found in the membrane of all animal cells. Its function in the active transport of sodium and potassium ions across the cell membrane against their concentration gradient. It creates an electrochemical gradient across the cell membrane. The electrical gradient is created by the outflow of 3 positive sodium ions and the inflow of 2 positive potassium ions. This electrical gradient is used in neurons and muscles to create an action potential and muscular contraction. Cell membranes come equipped with proteins called aquaporins that help water pass through cell membranes and help carry organisms out life processes. Because of the difficulty of simple diffusion of water molecules across a membrane, aquaporins aid the mass movement of water across the membrane. Cell communication with each other through direct contact over short distances or over large distances. Some cell-to-cell communication requires direct cell-to-cell contact. Some cells can form gap junctions that connect their cytoplasm to the cytoplasm of adjacent cells. Many cell signals are carried by molecules that are released by one cell and move to make contact with another. Paracrine signals only target cells in the vicinity of emitting cells. Endocrine signals are called hormones. Hormones are produced by endocrine cells and they travel through the blood to reach all parts of the body. Specifically of signaling can be controlled if only some cells can respond to a particular hormone. A certain cell membrane can have several membrane receptors. Membrane receptors are mainly divided into three classes: the ion-linked receptor, the enzyme-linked receptor, and the G-coupled receptor. Ion channels are involved in rapid signaling events found in cells such as neurons, and also called ligand-gated ion channels. Signal transduction at cellular level refers to the movement of signals from outside the cell to inside. The movement of signals can be simple, like that associated with receptor molecules of acetylcholine class receptors that constitute channels which, upon ligand interaction, allow signals to be passed in the form of small ion movement, either into or out of the cells. And endocytosis is the transportation of substances into the cell. A substance that is next to the cell membrane folds over itself and forms a C shape around the substance. Pinocytosis is when cell drinks in a liquid substance by endocytosis. Exocytosis is the transportation of a substance out of the cell. Voice over done by me, Mahmood. Illustration by Cindy and Lisa, and also me, and script by Kevin and me. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Ms. Ross.